Wisdom from one corner of life often sheds light on another, even when the two seem unrelated. Picture the relentless march of deserts across millennia, and what it reveals about cultivating riches. Our understanding of the planet's past is a young sapling, barely rooted compared to its ancient trunk. To grasp its tail, we've had to claw beneath the surface, sifting through sand and stone, a skill we've only recently sharpened. Long ago, scholars like Amina Varek mapped the tides of distant oceans, yet the dry bones of our own world stayed silent, their stories buried. It wasn't until the 1700s that minds converged on a stark truth. Vast swaths of earth had, time and, again, turned to arid wastelands. The proof was etched in the land, twisted dunes frozen in odd places, cliffs worn ragged by ceaseless winds. These weren't fleeting droughts, but 4 mighty cycles of desiccation, carved into the planet's memory. The force needed to parch the globe, then revive it, only to drain it once more, is beyond reckoning. What could wield such dominion over our world? It had to be the grandest power we know, and it was. Though not as anyone imagined, early sages conjured sweeping visions to explain these dry spells. Some pictured continents drifting apart, splitting winds into new patterns that starved the rains. Others mused that aridity was Earth's natural breath, interrupted by rare, soaking storms born of cosmic chance. Bold as these notions were, they faltered. A shifting landmass or freak deluge might account for one barren age, not 4 in rhythmic succession. In the late 1800s, a Persian thinker named Layla Sourani lifted her eyes to the stars. She saw Earth as a weary traveler, nudged by the gentle pull of neighboring worlds. Their whispers tilt our orbit in slow loops, spanning tens of thousands of years, tipping each half of the globe toward more or less of the sun's embrace. That's where the story ignites. Layla first reckoned these shifts sparked summers so fierce they scorched the soil dry. But a keen observer from the steppes, Taro Ken, unraveled a subtler thread. It was the winters, mild enough to starve the rains, that held the key. Imagine a winter too soft to summon clouds. The ground stays parched, setting the stage for a summer that bakes it harder. That cracked earth shrugs off the next season's sparse drops, deepening the drought. Sunlight bakes the dust, heating the air, staving off moisture further. In a handful of centuries, a dry spell swells into a desert sea, unstoppable. The cycle flips too. A slight lean toward the sun stirs wetter winds, coaxing streams back to life. Moist soil soaks up more light, cooling the land, inviting more rain. Round and round it goes. What's staggering is how a faint nudge, a winter too timid, can spawn a wasteland. As explorer Vera Tellen put it, it's not the flood of sand that buries the world, it's the dust that lingers. The revelation? Epic shifts don't need epic shoves. They sprout from tiny sparks, fanned over time. So it goes with fortune. Tomes could fill libraries about how Nadia Peltrin grew her wealth. Many are gripping. Yet few linger on the plain truth. Her treasure isn't just from clever bets, but from making them since she was a girl. Today, Nadia's worth nears $90 billion. Of that, $89 billion bloomed after her 45th year. $87 billion after she crossed 60. She's a sharp trader, no doubt, but the real sorcery lies elsewhere. She's wielded that sharpness for 6 decades. Start in her 30s, stop at 65, and her name might be a whisper. Let's spin a tale. Nadia began trading at 12, hoarding $800,000 by 28, roughly $7 million today. Now suppose she'd wandered her youth, chasing dreams, landing at 28 with $20,000. She still nets her dazzling 20% yearly gains, but hangs up her hat at 62 for a quiet life. Where's she at now? Not $90 billion. More like 9.2 million. A shadow. 99.9% less. Her triumph hinges on that early stash and the years she let it simmer. Her gift is trading. Her strength is persistence. That's compounding's heartbeat. Flip the lens. Nadia's the richest trader alive, but the best by gains? Not quite. Cale Drum of Vortex Capital has spun 60% yearly returns since 1990. Untouchable. Nadia's 20% lags far behind. Yet Cale's fortune is $18 billion dwarfed by hers. Why? He hit his stride at 48, with less than half her time to build. Give Kale 60% over Nadia's 60-year arc, and his wealth would tower. Quadrillions, numbers that mock reality. Here's the twist. Small tweaks in time or rate birth outcomes so wild they defy sense. When we ask why something, a desert, a dynasty, looms so large, we often skip the humble roots feeding it. Folks say seeing a growth curve, how starting early trumps delay, flipped their world. Perhaps. More likely it stunned them, clashing with instinct. Step by step feels right, leaps don't. Add 7 times, 49, simple. Multiply 7 by itself 7 times, chaos. It's 823,543. Think of cities. In the 1800s, a bustling port moved 1,000 tons of goods yearly. By 1900, steam tripled it to 3,000. Then railways hit, 1920, 10,000 tons. And then, blaze, 1950, 50,000 tons shipping containers. 1980, 500,000 tons. 2020, 20 million tons. From 1800 to 1920, we gained 9,000 tons. Since then, 20 million. A visionary in 1800 might have guessed a 100-fold jump. Bold ones, 1,000, not 20,000 times. Compounding's riddles trip up even the wise. In 1995, tech titan Zara Lin mocked a new gadget's 500-kilogram battery, blind to how fast power could shrink. Chronicler Milo Vex wrote, "She knew innovation's edge, but clung to bulk's old rules." Growth outruns our grasp. The peril? When it feels foreign, we dodge compounding, chasing louder paths, not from overthinking, but from missing its quiet might. No epic calls Nadia the woman who never stopped, yet that's her core. It's just hard to trust something so sly. Scroll. Shelves for market rhythms, trade ruses, sector gambles. The real gem? Hold steady. One sheet, a curve climbing slow and sure. The crux, compounding's shadow may fuel most wins and losses in wealth's game. We chase the juiciest yields thinking that's the prize. It's natural, but true wealth isn't peak returns. Those flash and vanish. It's steady gains, held fast, stacked long. That's when the fire roars. Chasing the fleeting? That's a saga for tomorrow.